more and more frequently the triple branch tango, basically the build to go for as your safe lane carry. Venno starting off with a double set of tangos and a stick as well to go with. Already expecting there's going to be a lot of Skywrath shite heading over his way. Mali Burgos, who's played a pretty decent Lion and Skywrath throughout the last few weeks. Would be surprising if we actually get this team to be like one of the top 2 contenders for Division 1, because if this team stays together with their current roster, would they actually match up against some of the Division 1 teams, or is there still a lot of work to do? You think about players like High Shaggy, Jubei, Double King, very talented lads. Then you've got these new Europeans in the offlane who've been dominating this season.
Yeah, one of the things that could happen to a lineup like this when they come into the first division is that they get sort of hit by the difference in level, especially if you've had a very easy first season, right? But I think one of the things that's going to mitigate that for them is that they've got Jubei on the support position.
Yeah.
And Jubei is so experienced. Like, he's had that whiplash several times, I presume, because that also happens if you make it like into a main tournament out of a qualifier, for example, right?
Also, the situation of you're not getting any TI points for getting into Division 1, but you get points for being in Division 1, which is kind of like the road for TI. You can still snatch and grab some of these very talented players without facing any repercussions or penalties in points either. So if there's any free agents on the market when the shuffles are happening between 2 and 3, I'm not sure if there's going to be too many of those usually, but you know, a team like the Mystery Machine, if they feel like they need a bit of a change, they could definitely do it. Happens from time to time.
And we've got ourselves a little bit of a lane change here. So Vol is on the bottom lane right now, looking to match up into the DK, who's going to definitely be annoyed by this.
Yeah, and reason for the stick pickup too. So they were definitely expecting this. The thing is, what they didn't see, TMM, is they're not responding to it. They're keeping the lanes as they are. DK is going to struggle a bit, especially with his early levels. He's definitely going to be taking some damage. This slow helps the Abaddon with his harass, makes his life a bit easier. And then we have the CK versus the Lifestealer. So CK already pumps up a high amount of damage. Hoodwink versus Bane is somewhat of a standard 1v1 4 versus 5 matchup in the offlane safe lane, but this CK is not to be trifled with. That's something that you got to be careful for.
Absolutely. He has way more last hitting power here than the Lifestealer. Got a little bit of a better animation as well, which is remarkable since Nyxus is so good already. And yeah, this is all about burst between versus sustain. And in this case, I think Double King is very well served with having a Bane by his side, because he can always just cut off engagements immediately, get the Nightmare going. So in the end, Double King should last fine here, but we shouldn't see any kills. Here we go.
Well, mid lane was something that almost took place, as that Ember just keeps on getting punished by Shaggy. He's under his tower with 90 HP. He's been hit every time he moves, and he's going to get hit. And again, he's got the Flame Guard to soak up one of those hits, but Shaggy's just enjoying his life so much right now. Ember is getting slowed in farm. Shaggy's just free farm and free ball. And look at this guy. Just nothing the Ember can do. He's going to have to force out his Fairy Fire. He gets a salve, but it might be a first blood on Mali Burgos. The missed calls not going to do enough damage, as the Sky will survive out of this one. So a lot of fighting on the sidelines and also in mid.
I mean, the amount of fighting in mid should definitely be a lot lower starting from, because RL just can't do anything versus the massive amount of regen that High Shaggy puts in here. And you could see here that RL is missing so many last hits under his own tower because he cannot afford to be within hitting range of High Shaggy.
Yeah.
And this is only going to get worse. And which one of his supports is going to come and rotate in to save him? Because you can't really leave the CK alone on top. I guess the Abaddon is going to have to come in eventually, but you're not going to be able to get kills on High Shaggy with that. You're just going to try and sustain RL through this lane.
Yeah, that's a very weird thing about 5ManMidas' lineup when you think Abaddon rotating is only for defensive causes. You can't really play too aggressive with him unless you have a +1, making it a 3-man rotation. You want to rotate the Hoodwink maybe in that case, but then you would have to put the Abaddon with the CK, making it a double lane at the top lane. as they're doing a lot of damage on the double king. Not quite enough for a kill, but close enough at least. And now Jubei wanting to finish off Sanctified with these right clicks, the Fiend's Grip, and the right click's going to be connecting, and Jubei will get the first kill of the game. And now Red Bruce is also tanking the tower. Many hits coming in, and Double King seizes a moment, has risen as well. Just keeps on punching back to this CK. He's got his Soul Ring and his Tango's got a lot of regen, but still, first blood goes for the Mystery Machine. Jackie is hunting RRL in the towers, hoping to get a Death Pulse connection, but 8 to 26. 8 to 26, Kips.
Yeah, we were wondering what version of Shaggy would show up, and this is the guy we were looking for. I mean, this is also a very favorite matchup, right? There's absolutely nothing an Ember Spirit can do versus this Necrophos.
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Scream and run.
DK, despite the early harass, he's now slowly getting himself back together. Double King, that's a 1v1. That's just a straight-up kill. Hoodwink gets his spells off, surprises the Lifestealer. Even with his 1 point in rage, and able to get it out in time. Vol dropping low to Tib. Getting some hits in onto the Veno, but doesn't quite lead into a kill. Gets the salve to pump in some heals. Mali Burgos got to be careful as he's got the Poison Sting, but Ray's also very low. Does this guy get in between? He gets the Arcane Bolt with the Breathe Fire for the kill. There's the stun. He's going to die to the Poison Stings in the end. And Vol and Tib, they're going to go all out. The DK knows there's no running from this. I'm going to have to fully commit onto this one. And Vol just trying to punch in as much damage as possible. But the DK seems to be out regenning all the damage he's taking. And he's going to live out of this one, but this was about to happen. Jubei is able to snipe in the mid lane as he is also taking damage from the Hoodwink. Not tanking the tower, though, surviving through this one. At least they killed the Ember with that dive, so Ember's life even worse. 1 death, 11 last hits in under 6 minutes. Don't think you can get any worse than that for a mid player.
I mean, he's also going to lose his mid tower before 10 minutes, for sure. So yes, it can get worse, and it will.
He also puts down a ward, which is, hey, there's a sentry ward, so you're going to be losing that too.
Oh my lord.
Just waiting for the Ember to move out, and there's the instant D-ward. There's the laughing coming out from the Ember instead of the Necro in this case.
Yeah, you gotta have a sense of humor about this. Man, the team threw me to the wolves here. There's no way to make up for this Necro mid.
That's kind of the worst feeling as well, when you choose the mid lane to be the sacked lane. It's not your carry, it's not your off lane, but instead your mid lane is the one that's struggling out of the laning stage. In how many scenarios is that profitable, Kips? Like, we remember the game where we had the mid DP who ended up carrying the game in the end because she was the only one who had a good lane?
Yep. Well, we can talk a bunch about Liquid around, 2016, 2017.
Okay, all right, okay.
It's Matumba Man on mid. But that was a team that very much benefited from their own superior knowledge of creep wave control and of the side lanes in general to sort of make their opponents go crazy with running after them. Like, it was part of the strategy to have strong side lanes there. So then it makes sense, but I don't think that is viable anymore. Most teams have caught up to that kind of business. We've seen so much creep wave cutting and so many position 4s sitting on like the corners of the map, cutting waves, etc. Those are tricks that stem from that time when you had to stop Liquid from running you ragged.
Abaddon's going to have to rotate to the top lane as well, making it a 3 versus 2 scenario. Lifestealer back and all the way back under his tower. Jubei unable to get the warding mission done here. Puts sentry down, but there's a dive going on in mid. Shaggy has been pinged and located. Sanctified is here for the bushwhack. There's no break available. Look at the healing. This guy's back to full HP. Ember's going to go down to the Reaper's side. As Ray's going to be running away, Mali Burgos is going to be tanking this one, losing his life, but providing Shaggy with the double. Here comes the CK. Phantasm will be used, but the stun coming out of the bushwhack's a failure. Doesn't connect onto the Necro. That might have been the one that they needed. Can they get the damage? Yes, they can. And maybe Jubei's going to be falling as well, as 5ManMidas committing with this CK rotation. They don't have the mana for the Chaos Ball, but the connection coming out from the Gale. That's going to be end for Jubei's Bane, and that's going to be going for Ruzi. As that feels like it was a bit of a scuffle for both sides. It's a 2 for 3 in the end for 5ManMidas. Despite losing the Ember, they get the support kills and they punish the Necro.
Yeah, ideally you want your Ember to be alive for that and getting some of the experience.
Oh, yeah.
Now he did not benefit from the turnaround onto High Shaggy. High Shaggy is just 2 levels ahead of him, dude. That has not changed.
Yep, getting
Absolutely
surpassed by his supports in a second as well. I wonder if he's going to be the one to buy the tome or get the tome. I mean, you would definitely want to give it to your Ember, but we'll see in a minute if it is the Hoodwink who's going to be buying it instead, because he can still get a lot out of that Sharpshooter. Necro getting slowed up. There's the earn charge. Bushwhack does connect, but again, the issues of diving under the tower is real. DK with his forms also here. He's already finished pushing that bottom tier 1 tower down. The TP threat in itself is going to be enough. Phantasm used in the top lane. Double King Jubei. Can they slow down Ruzi? Early damage kicking in. Rotation is coming out from the Hoodwink. Sanctified is getting into position. They are going to leave the CK where he is. Dire scan.
That's incredible.
It will find Ray. So I think they're not gonna chase because they see the scan connects. They don't know who it is though.
Yeah. You can see here how the matchup between this Lifestealer and the CK works, especially for now, that the CK has so much more damage. The Lifestealer can run him down, sure, but he needs to keep on hitting him to get the percentage-based lifesteal, because if he doesn't, the CK claps him twice. Yeah, here we go. Look at that burst heal.
Just plenty to get out of that. Lifestealer also really good against strength heroes too, so we'll see if that is going to change as we go further in. Jubei is going to have to sack his life. Quick rotation from Sanctified with the Bushwhack. Ray also shows up just in case.
And Sanctified's got that level 6 now, which is very important because he's one of the few sources of burst magic damage on his team. You're going to need that versus the Necro, and you really want that break to be at the ready versus the CK as well.
Still, it's a 2k lead for the Mystery Machine. They have been coming out stronger out of the laning stage. We haven't really talked too much about Tibbs DK because, well, he's still in farming mode. But they can get a lot out of this Blink stun and start to make the plays with the Skywrath, especially once he goes for the Veils. They got so much damage to go together. Sharpshooter onto the DK. He's going to TP home. RRL gets taken down by Mali Burgos, meanwhile, at the same time. And DK, he looks like he is going to survive at the fountain in the end. So that was Jubei. Did he even use Nightmare? He's still got Fiend's Grip off cooldown, so that might have been just a casual strolling in Ember dying through spells.
Absolute sadness. He's dangling at the bottom of the net worth charts.
Yep. 700 difference as well from the Bane, and then the Skywrath right behind him.
Yep.
Position for Ember. Sanctified. Very deep dive. He's got the Sharpshooter too, but the Infest heal is gonna improve. Okay, that Sharpshooter probably was looking for some 360 no-scope action. Not gonna work out. They've got the Fiend's Grip on the Venno, but removed by Ray. Ray has used his ulti already, so he's gonna fall. Jubei getting get targeted by the stun. Ruzi getting some damage in. So is RRL looking for the range of bench kills, and a double will go his way. Ruzi does get taken down. He does still post-mortem kill Jubei with his illusion as Vol dives under the tower. Shaggy dealing the damage with those pulses, looking for his own double. Sanctified, can he get the angle to maybe hold someone down? Looks like they won't be able to touch the Necro. Goes in for the full heal, and again, just a taunting Bushwhack. Throws the bolas into the air, doesn't connect, and that tower will get taken down, but it's denied by Sanctified, so no money going in, but that's your Roshan contesting tower basically taken down. It is 12 minutes still, so it's not too bad.
Yep, that could have been a lot worse, but look at that staying power of the Necro in this fight. They know they can't afford to focus him either on 5ManMidas. They tried that once, they immediately paid the price, so they have to work around him, but man, that just means you get a run down instead.
They're trying to smoke rotate on the Necro. If they can get Abaddon to silence him, oh, he's going to get revealed. Shaggy already knows something's going to be up. But they're still going for it. Ball the slows there from the Gale. Sharpshooter will connect. Necro is really tanky, though.
He's got a hood.
So much HP regen, plus the heals. Like, good luck trying to kill this guy.
And a plate mail now, my god. Absolute tank. And they just immediately go.
DK form is up in 3 seconds. Blink stun's available. RRL might be the target. Here's Mali Burgos ready. Oh, the slate pops the smokes. That is such a rigged thing because your hero is technically there even though he isn't. He's just using the presence to break the smokes. So their mystery machine, no success. Ember's got a bit of a sigh of relief after that.
Yeah, and his team is in such a weird macro position right now because the only one who had a lane worth talking about is Ruzi. But that's your CK right there. You don't want him to get involved just yet. Ideally, he'd be farming until he gets this Echo Saber and then maybe even looking at a BKB or a Halberd still. Like,
Jubei's found him, but the enemy also have found Jubei, so he's running away. Sharpshooter slows him down. Is he close enough for Ruzi? Wants to get the Reality Rift almost in range. The chains will secure that. And Jubei will be taken out of play. That is a 4-hero chase onto a support Bane, though, so that also opens up the map for Shaggy to push in top. DK form also used. They're going to be looking to pummel this tower down. They also have a Glyph available to defend their mid-tier 1, but do they have the TPs for it? They do. So they're probably pondering. Necro's TPing in. Shaggy himself might just be the presence they need to fend off 4 heroes away from the mid lane.
Oh, he shows up, the party's over, and he knows it. Look at him walking up. He's all on his own.
No fear. He's got some of that, you could say Finnish grit.
Bit of Sisu.
Bit of Sisu indeed. He's just not giving it down. He knows that he's got to have to make this one work out, no matter what the cost. And that Necro might be playing a huge role in the determination of this first game. Off to a fantastic start. He's at net worth margins, which are like your 17, 18-minute TBs and Medusas on a Necrophos. He's 9,000 net worth in 16 minutes in. Usually you have 10k in 18 with a hard carry. So take that in comparison. That's just a massive Necro.
He's hitting those numbers, and he's got some snowballing Reaper Scythe regen, and man, I'm out of words for this guy, really.
Yeah, I'm trying to spike it up with as many powerful objectives as I can to really understand. This guy's huge. Like, this guy's really big. And,
Massive.
And 5ManMidas have been struggling to kill this guy. They've had 1 or 2 smoke ganks where they've attempted to poke the Necro.
I think this is one of the few phases in the game, though, where Necro... Yeah.
Stun comes out, Lotus Orb, reflex the stun backwards, though. They're going to use the Poison Nova, but you think that's stopping a Necro? That's a 2-man ulti. It connects onto the Bane. Bane's not taking any damage. Necro's going to be fine with this. He's got the hood, and Mali Burgos himself is just pummeling the Venomancer with a couple spells, and they just can't get to this tower either. So you used 1 ulti and a bit of a small initiation on the Necro, and he's just chilling.
Look at this. This is so sad. Vol has got the Spirit Vessel, so they can do something against the region from the Necrophos right now, but he doesn't have any charges.
If only. You got to get kills to get charges, but there's no kills happen, and they're targeting the Necro for it. They're gonna have to find like maybe Jubei strolling around in the jungle and have the
just throw 4 heroes at him again.
Yeah,
it's fine. Everything for the charges.
Lifestealer's just been farming all this time. He's got an armlet. Sanj is ready. Sanj and Yasha soon almost prepared. And the Ember is fearing. He is fearing. Oh, they've actually located him too. Jubei, can he get a Fiend Script off onto the Ember? He's located and he's going to get taken down. And that's more regen for High Shaggy. Up to 4 stacks. 15 permanent HP regen already. Oh boy.
Where are they going to find the damage for this guy? It's going to have to be Ruzi. Every time Ruzi gets an item, Shaggy already has 2 extra.
You're going to use a 5-man rotation to kill 1 guy and then everybody else dies.
Yeah, basically.
That's most likely what's going to happen. He's so far ahead that technically TMM can sack the Necro for a team wipe. They're going to go on Veno. Here's the Blink Stun. Mystic Flare there with the silence, but the Aphotic Shield is there, and it allows Veno to survive. Tip has to TP away, and where are your cancels? There's the change. Going to be doing that work. Fireball down onto the ground. Tip still tanking damage, and he's going to be running out of the silence in a second. Not enough to actually take anyone down. He forces the ulti off of the Abaddon, though, but that's going to be up in 60 seconds. Shaggy, though, has been pushing in the mid lane at the same time, so important kill for 5ManMidas.
Absolutely, especially because this is charges for Vol. They, at the very least, still have something to keep High Shaggy down with. I don't want to say that it's going to put him underground, but...
They are going to smoke up at least with the 3. Ray, RRL Sanctified. They're going to spread out for a second. Sky is a kill. Smoke will pop. TP coming in as well from High Shaggy. And Vol looks to commit to this, but now that they spot the Necro, it's going to be a call out instantly. And the Lotus Orb is also going to be removing the Gale. But here's going to be coming back up. Sanctified gets the Acorn shot. Bushwhack will connect. Sharpshooter's going to be a Ray RRL coming in as well for the damage. And that will be a dead Skywrath. That is also a push going into mid, while Double King takes the tier 2 from the bottom lane by himself. It's a kill and a tower as well for 5ManMidas, but now that bottom lane is completely open.
That's the loss of the outpost as well. So
what is the direction for 5ManMidas Tips? Do they just keep on looking for these lane pickoffs, or try to force Roshan maybe with the CK?
Like, what you're looking at here is a lineup that really only has one way of creating pickoffs on you, which is the Blink Stun on the DK. So as long as you keep tabs on where they're at, you can make good counter moves like they did on top, right? And because the Mystery Machine is farming mostly otherwise, they're going to be fairly spread. You're always going to see this Necro on a lane. You're just going to have to work around him. Try and get your CK as farmed as possible. Like, he is still keeping pace with Double King, even though Double King has a completely free game by comparison. So 5ManMidas is making the most out of the information they've got right now.
Oh, Ember. Are they going to go for this? They're thinking about the Fiend script, but Shaggy is just going to make some personal plays, probably hoping to bait that 5ManMidas is going to fall for this one. Fiend scripting under an enemy tier 2 tower has got to be one of the ballsiest plays you can make.
I mean, you can actually see Ray immediately place a sentry ward because he thought that they didn't make the move because they knew he was there.
They want Ruzi. They want Ruzi. They're going to find him too. He's going to turn around. He's got the stun on Jubei, but the Nightmare's going to be there with the DK stun coming out as well. The Veno Nova does some damage, and that's going to be stack number 5 for the Necro with this Reaper's Scythe connecting. Phantasm used for 1,000 damage to a tower. Veno's going to be the next target with the Mystic Flare, and Tip will burn him alive with the Breathe Fire. Meanwhile, there's a 1 HP Bane and a Sharpshooter. They're all in between. They're saving Jubei. They're making sure he's going to live. And same for the Sky, who was dropping low. They're all pretty low here, except for the Necro.
Yep. Well, in a far gray past, I would have said that dropping Phantasm for a tower is not worth it, but with what the cooldown being what it is right now, yeah, just press it, get some reactions. I think it shouldn't be Ruzi getting these reactions, though, because you can see that there's suddenly an actual gap between him and Double King. It wasn't like that literally a minute ago.
All right, here we go. CK's going to be TPing in. Tip's going to be the target, but the Sky is also going to be on the side. They got the silence out, and the Aphotic Shield will be used. Oh, we don't want to fight recap. That fight's going on as Tip's going to be stunned up, and Ruzi will be getting the kill onto the DK. And Shaggy, there's their first proper opportunity to kill the Necro. How's it going to end up for them? As Abaddon's got no ulti left, and it's going to get his shield pop too, with that Arcane Bolt connecting from the Skywrath. Bane, very low on HP. Bane with 50 HP. Jubei gets to sap out to heal himself. Maliburga silences up RRL as he takes down the Sky. Jubei running away. Necro in the river. Ruzi's 700 HP. Frozen the stun onto the Necro. Gale, they're just trying to kite. Just please don't hunt us down, Necro. He's the big boogeyman, and they are trying to keep him away. Quelling Blade to cut the trees, so that stun is removed, but the roots are going to be connecting onto 2. Ruzi looking for again another angle for the stun. 16 seconds for the Reaper's Scythe to be up. Can they hold this long? Now they're going to be throwing in Double King into the fight. Ruzi, 600 HP, 300 dropping down. CK dead. Necro's going to be dropping very low on HP as well, but still can't quite finish off the job. Jubei going in deep for Ray and Sanctified, and he's going to trade his life away, but the Reaper's Scythe is now back off cooldown, and Double King's going to soften it up and welcome number 6 straight to the face, and that's going to be 4 for 1 for the Mystery Machine.
You can see why they want to continue going there. They want to try to see if they have the damage this time to finally take that Necro down. But no, they do not.
No, just no.
And it's a shame because the start of that fight is really good, right? They keep High Shaggy engaged on the left flank of that fight while they throw RRL into the backlines over on the right-hand side.
Yep.
And the Necro is not that mobile. He can't come save his backlines there. So you treat him the same as a bristleback, say.
They dealt 19,000 damage and they killed a Bane. 19,000... Okay, they did kill this guy in the DK, but 19,000 damage and you did not get the Necro with it. I want to see Shaggy's healing done after this game. Like, there's something busted with this hero, for sure. How strong the Necro is after that. Let's take a look at that replay, too. This is 6 seconds into Scythe, where they're like, well, we've basically run out of time. We have not been able to crack down the defense, and now they're hunting. Shaggy was basically inside 600 units, 700 units for that whole fight. Sometimes low ground, sometimes high ground. Just tells how much confidence he has in his hero and in his team. And then you see Jubei's Bane just hunting for kills, just doing these solo plays, just crazy.
Yeah, and I think for 5ManMidas, as soon as the Fire Remnants run out on RL, that fight is just over. They need to be able to kite, that's their tool.
Something tells me the fight was already over by the time they killed Tib in front of the tower, the DK falling, and that should have been just it. You gotta extend how far you can go, but this Lifestealer is becoming absolutely huge too. He's already 13,500 net worth in with his Basher. Sanjay Armlet going for the AC next. By the time he's got the AC up, CK's gonna be a very soft target for him to take down, as he's only packing 10 plus 14 armor. 4 of that coming from the Armlet proc, or the active.
Really not too much, and the AC is also going to be most likely the moment where they're going to go for the Roshan, and then high ground after. Very clear indication of the timeline that that the Mystery Machine have ready for 5ManMidas here.
Yep. And basically in a situation as well, if they win the next team fight, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's also going to be a GG call, but has to be complete dominance from them. Tip's going to go in for the Blink Stun onto the Abaddon. They're going to try and force out his ulti first, make him feel threatened. And that's going to happen. A Double King is there for the body blocks, looking for the bashes for the TP stun, but Shaggy almost ruining the party there with the Shroud, or the Death Seeker thrown in there with that shard, going invulnerable, won't be able to throw in stuns, but there's the Nightmare, and Shaggy already hunting for the next target, and that's Ruzi with the CK. RRL's going to be there too. Necro still relentless, going to force them away. Meanwhile, the push is happening already in the bot lane. Double King is ready to go high ground if he has his buddies backing him up. Bushwhack going to miss again. Sanctified hasn't really landed these Bushwhack stuns on the Hoodwink. Maybe a bit nervous.
Yeah, and this was not really a high ground go. This is just, hey, we have a catapult, and we want to see how many people we can pull back. Which turns out to only be the Venomancer, really. 5ManMidas not having a lot of interest in defending their side of the map right now, which is correct. All they need is more items on Ruzi. But they're gonna try now. Necro TP to top. 30 more seconds before he's back.
Hello, Ray. There's a Bushwhack. Onto the Lifestealer. He's got his Rage, though. Tape also pops his BKB. There's the Fiend Skip onto the Ember, and CK is already dead. Well, pretty much. He's down to 200 HP, even with his BKB. He's just a soft target, but he's getting some armlet toggles out. He's going to be able to take down Maliburgas Raspiat and also the DK, so we'll take that back. CK is not falling yet, but now as Double King turns his attention that maybe I should finish off this guy. He gets him in the end. Vessel will be purged with the Rage, and forcing away the Ember as they finish off the Hoodwink, and now hunting the Venomancer down as well. There's nowhere to go. The Harpy Scout providing all the vision that they need. They will even use a Nova onto him. He is getting some distance onto the Lifestealer, though, so Double King, he is ticking, dropping lower, but that Rage is going to be moving them all away, and 540 cancels the TP as well with a Basher, and another one. Make it a third Bash, maybe. Not needed. 2 is enough for the kill, and the Harpy Scout lives as the Poison Nova is not lethal.
It is not. And in the meantime, High Shag has just been pushing top. That was without Shaggy. But you can see there that if they don't get the CK down to like 10% HP on the immediate go-in, if he pops his BKB before he appears into that fight, then he could actually probably win that one. But instead he is so low that a single bash from the Lifestealer will finish him off.
Yeah, pretty much. Glyph also used to defend a tier 2 tower. They're not actually using it to defend high ground. RRL might be the next target. Jubei just needs to get in a bit closer. Tip doesn't quite TP in time for the blink stun. And hunting the Abaddon. Oh man, they could have just dropped the side. They could have actually just killed him there. But they want to leave it for another higher priority target. 7 Reaper side stacks, 39 HP regen. On top of his HP given by his strength. And the base regeneration as well. Solid,
I love watching his HP tick down a little bit and then just immediately fill up again. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's got, what, 78 HP regen? That's almost as worthy of us having a heart. A heart's going to be a bit more than that. Obviously, he scaled a bit more. But the Venom going to be targeted, and there's the Reaper's Scythe. It's going to be stack number 8 for High Shaggy. Abaddon's going to be dropping 2. No ulti remaining. He's got a buyback though, but Ruzi trying to get some damage out. Jubei gets a pretty much full heal out of that as he drops the Brain Sap and gets a Death Pulse heal from the Shaggy Necrophos as Ray bought back to just get stunned in the front line. That's also going to be the end for this Abaddon, so that's going to be a dieback for him. Shaggy's diving the fountain. He's in front of the fountain, and he's going to be inside the fountain. They're trying to body block him, bushwhack onto him as well. And Shaggy, he's starting to take a lot of mean damage from that, as he's going to get stunned again. 1000 HP to burst through. He's regenerating faster than they're doing damage to this Necro, and Tip's going to be joining in the party, and Jubei's also here. Shaggy's just probably calling, hey guys, look at me, daddy, no hands. And
hands
he's
off
back
the
to full
keyword.
HP. Oh, look at that. Look at that sweet red bar get filled, and Venno just threw his life away.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they caught Mali Burgos. How Shaggy doesn't want to tank it for him. He tried to TP home, and Necro's just going to walk past the sharpshooter and not tank it himself. He's going to give the Skywrath as a bit of a souvenir for dropping by in their base. And
man,
go back in.
I've taken enough damage here. You take it.
I really want to look at the damage dealt, taken, and healing done by Shaggy on this game. This is just a fantastic Necro game. Bottom racks falling. Double King's going to be finishing off the melee and the range. Making that 2 lanes. And 1 more to go. That's going to be the top lane, which Ruzi is already split pushing. Trying to keep the creep wave as far as possible. 25,000 gold ahead and 100% win probability for the Mystery Machine. They found the CK. Fiend Script will be used. And that will be the end of him. And Shaggy gets the kill as well. So he's now 13, 1, and 6. That also means that those creep waves will be caught back up. They're going to be heading straight towards the Radiant base. Fun fact, this was a game that wasn't even requiring Roshan to take any participation into this one.
No.
How many games have you actually had where Roche has not been an objective?
Barely any. Even in the really big stomps, it has been just a good precaution to take before high ground. But you can see, by the way, that Mystery Machine move right now.
5ManMidas just not present here in game number 1. They're still not calling the good game, as the Mystery Machine just gonna secure the mega creeps for themselves, increase that big gold number for themselves. GPMs are also going to be off the roof, as Necro's already seeing at 750. And here's the final fight. They're going to be taking down the Skywrath. 3 versus 4. Shaggy tipping Mali Burgos once again. He did that at the same time. He got hit by the sharpshooter. 3-man bushwhack does connect at a crucial moment, but the Nightmare is going to be there. Double King will be finishing off the Abaddon, and onto the tier 4 towers they go. Double King leading the charge. And the Mystery Machine, very dominant game number 1.
I don't think it gets much more dominant than this, frankly. This has been absolutely incredible, and they didn't really have to push for it either. It's just this Necro pick doing what a Necrophos does.
It does feel like when you're playing that ice hockey game with dads versus kids. They're not even playing properly, but still dominating throughout the game. And
Yeah.
CK with his BKB, Fiend script up. They are finishing off Jube in a second with the pushback connecting, but still the two big cores, and even Tip is also surviving throughout all of that, so it really doesn't leave them much to give. And there's a GG call finally coming out. The Mystery Machine close out the first game of the series in 33 minutes and 41 seconds.